Geometry, Chapter 3, Section 2, Constructing Perpendicular Bisectors. So perpendicular bisector, given a line, if another line intersects it such that it is perpendicular, and it's at the midpoint that intersects the line, is called the perpendicular bisector. So you can see here the two lines intersect at 90 degrees, and this line is at the midpoint of the other line. So you'll notice this other line is cut into two congruent segments. So it bisects it. Hence, perpendicular, 90 degrees, bisector cuts it in half. So let's actually go through the process to construct a perpendicular bisector. So it requires a compass and a straight edge. We're going to make an arc from one endpoint of the segment such that the arc is past approximately the midpoint of the line. So we're going to have to take some guesses here. So I think it's fair to say currently my compass is set to go past the midpoint. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an arc above and below the line. I'm then going to repeat this process at the other side. Now I'm not going to adjust the length of my compass. It's already set where I want it to be. And so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to create an arc above and below. You notice my two arcs intercept at 2 points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect them with a line. And that line is my perpendicular bisector. So it intersects at 90 degrees and cuts the first line into two congruent segments. The median of a triangle, a segment connecting the vertex of a triangle to the midpoint of its opposite side, is called a median. So you'll notice here the median goes from a vertex to the midpoint. We know it's at the midpoint because it cuts the two sides in half. So that's the median of a triangle. The mid-segment of a triangle connects the midpoints of two sides of the triangle. So you'll notice here those two are congruent, so that's the midpoint. These two are congruent, so that's the midpoint. And so we connect them. That's the mid-segment of a triangle. And there's also something else neat going on with the mid-segment, as you end up those two lines are parallel. So let's do a little bit of algebra review here. So we're going to factor this problem. So what I mean by factor is we're going to end up with the equation looking something like this. So we're going to figure out how we can get it to look like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this number 2, and we're going to come up with all the possible factors of 2. All the possible factors of 2 are 1 times 2, 2 times 1, and then also the negative. Negative 1 times negative 2, and then negative 2 times negative 1. Here, those are all the possibilities. And we're going to figure out what set of these combinations can I get this positive 3x by adding these. 1 plus 2, that gives me 3. 2 plus 1, that gives me 3. Negative 1 plus negative 2, well, that gives me negative 3. And I want a positive 3, so that doesn't work. Negative 2 plus negative 1, again, negative 3 doesn't work. So I'm going to choose, I can pick either of these, and right now it doesn't matter. There's going to be situations where it does matter, but here it doesn't. So I'm going to do x plus 1, x plus 2. And there we go. I've factored that problem. Let's do another one. So I've got negative 12. So I got to figure out all the possible combinations of negative 12. 1 times a negative 12, or backwards, negative 1 times 12. And then let's see what else we've got. We've got 2 times a negative 6, or negative 2 times 6. And then we've got 3 times a negative 4, or negative 3 times 4. So those are all the possibilities. Now I'm looking for a negative x. So that's a negative 1. So what combination of adding these together will give me negative 1? 1 plus a negative 12, negative 11. No. Negative 1 plus 12, it's 11. No. 2 plus negative 6, negative 4, no. Negative 2 plus 6, that's 4, no. 3 plus negative 4, oh, that gives me negative 1, so this one works. Negative 3 plus 4, that's 1, no, it doesn't work. So my only combination is 3 plus negative 4. So I'm going to end up with x plus 3 times x minus 4. And that is the end of this lesson. Have a good day.